My question, Marty, is what is it that attracts you to the dark side of nature, human nature, and then to the justice you deliver in the final scenes of many of your films?
I guess it's really after 50 years of all this, and I don't know how else to put it. I really thought I could be, and I mean a director. You know, imagine being in the old studio system and going in and doing different genres and that sort of thing. Instead, I wound up doing pictures that reflect the world I came from, pretty much. That doesn't mean that my parents were that way, or they certainly weren't, and a lot of my family was not. But I grew up in a world where people who were actually people I accepted as the norm were capable of doing some really heinous things. And some that had no choice. Some people got involved with robberies or, this is before drugs too, by the way. It's 1949 to 1959. It's not dealing with drug dealers or whatever. It's something else going on. And I just knew that a lot of them, but deep down, they were decent. And they had no choice. You say, well, there's a choice, but not necessarily to a lot of people, given certain circumstances. For example, there's a mentality, too, that fascinated me. There was a guy, an old story, and Nick Pileggi told me, but we know, too, this happens. There was a guy, there was a feast of San Rocco. And the Feast of San Rocco on Mott Street, you would walk with these votive offerings. Like if you had something wrong with your chest, there was a wax plate of your chest or your leg or your arm, which goes back to the ancient Romans. You would bring these votive offerings for the gods to heal, but you'd walk behind the saint down the street, and one guy would always be walking in procession, and he was a great thief, and he would always pray to God for the strength for him to steal more. So what does that tell us about who we are as human beings?
There we go.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And so I was fascinated, and it's not even being fascinated or to like them. It was I saw the suffering. I just saw the suffering, and I don't know what could alleviate it. The church couldn't. Spirituality could. That doesn't mean but the church, the way it was set at that time in those places, was just superficial. The suffering around me made me constantly analyzing and trying to feel, what the hell are we? Who are we? Who am I?
Just wanted to pop in here to say that if you haven't seen this, the new Martin Scorsese documentary on Apple TV, you gotta check it out. I'm not getting paid to say this. I'm like 3 episodes deep and I'm addicted. If you are a Scorsese fan, you'll love it. If you're a cinephile, a filmmaker, a screenwriter, you'll love it, but it's also a great resource. It goes so deep into Scorsese's career, like all the way back to the early days, and goes into like the good, the bad, the ugly, everything. So anyway, check it out. It's awesome.